Hi everyone, Roxanne from Modern Athlete. I'm here with Ryan Sands, virtually of course, who's going to be taking on possibly his biggest challenge to date. Morning, Ryan. It's so great to have you here.
Morning, Roxanne. Yeah, really cool to be chatting.
So, obviously you've been doing a lot of preparation for months. You've been rather quiet on the socials. We haven't seen too much, but yeah, Cocodona 250 milers, which a conversion is just over 400 kilometers, is your next big challenge. Do you want to just like tell us a little bit about why and what in your crazy mind made you decide this was a good idea?
Yeah, I guess, to be honest, I thought after racing 100 milers, that would be kind of the end of my kind of racing career. But I guess that's what's really cool about the sport, and something, that's always attracted me to the sport is just the unknown, and I constantly find new challenges and new adventures. And a race like Cocodona, for me, is the perfect blend of both a race but also an epic adventure. And over the past couple of years, I've done a number of adventures. So I think this is a really cool way to blend, kind of both those elements of trail running. And yeah, I've been kind of head down, training hard, and yeah, really excited. It's been very cool that this year, just to almost feel like a renewed excitement for the sport and Stoke, and just kind of taking on something completely new. And also just, yeah, it's cool to start to like be taking on something, but you don't know you never know what the outcome is going to be in an ultra race. But with Cocodona, it's even more so. I don't know how I'm going to handle 2 or 3 nights of no sleep. Just being able to cover the distance, what's going to happen to me like physically and mentally. So for me, that's really exciting. And after competing for 18 years in sport, it's pretty cool that I can still find something that excites me this much.
Well, just for the viewers at home, so Cocodona is run through America. Basically, it's a point-to-point ultra through possibly some of the harshest territory that you can run in. I mean, the Arizona deserts is no like joke. And basically, for everyone at home, Ryan is running 250 miles, 400 Ks nonstop. They have, I think it's 150 hours to complete the race. So anyone who's done any ultra event will know normally it's broken up into stages. Normally you have some time to sleep between. This is nonstop. So Ryan, my first question to you is obviously you haven't really taken on something where there's no room for breaks. I mean, obviously you will break and obviously you'll rest, but how mentally, you're probably mentally really strong, but like this is taking even your strong to another level. How have you sort of done the prep to sort of prepare yourself for what's coming?
Yeah, obviously, like training wise, I've done a lot of running, and probably kind of like a consistent big block of training, probably like the biggest block I've ever done
Mm-hmm.
in my career. But like I've mentioned, I have done a number of kind of adventure and FKT projects, so I am used to going through the night. And from a kind of sleep deprivation point of view, I know what works for me. I know that like taking 10-minute power naps works really well, and rather taking a few of those than one like longer sleep. So yeah, I'm kind of busy building or kind of built a strategy for Cocodona. But I guess, yeah, going back to the mental side of things, I think that's what really excites me, and is also quite daunting. I don't know how I'm going to handle, kind of just having to move the whole time, especially just under kind of with like race pressure and racing people. As I mentioned, I've done big FKTs with Rainer Crystal, but there's just kind of the two of you out there. You're not kind of having someone breathing down your neck or chasing
Your
someone.
own time, yeah.
You're chasing someone else. I think that's going to be really cool. I've just come from a Salomon running camp, so yeah, I've been chatting to athletes like Frans de Haen, who ran Tour de Giants last year, which is a 200-mile race in Europe, probably the biggest 200-mile race there, and just, yeah, trying to pick his brain. And kind of what yeah, kind of one of the big points he said was just like so important to just focus on running your own race for as long as possible. Don't kind of start racing too early on. So I mean, I think that's what I'm going to try and do. Just really focus on my own race, but also be aware of what's going on around me.
No, I mean, I've watched the videos about the race and we'll include that in the article as well. But I mean, you going essentially against American trail running royalty comes to this race to race it. Does it intimidate you that you sort of taking them on their trails, you know, their course coming in as sort of the outsider? Like, how mentally do you prepare for something where you like going against people that are like not more prepared than you are, but you know, they know the courses a bit better than you do?
Yeah, I mean, like interesting question. I think if it was like a kind of 100K or 100-mile distance, I'd be a lot more confident. Obviously, being kind of, well, I keep saying 200 miles, actually 250 mile, like
Yeah.
400 kilometers. Obviously, yeah, the guys with a lot more experience. But I mean, I think it's quite, yeah, quite something that really gets me excited and motivates me, being a bit of an underdog, and also I guess takes the pressure off in a way. But I mean, yeah, I feel I've done a lot of preparation, and the big thing is like mentally I'm feeling really excited going into the race, which I think is positive.
Now, we were chatting earlier. I mean, this is a supported course, but with our support and their support, I mean, you essentially running for, I think it was 25 miles, which is around 50 Ks with no support. So they've essentially said that you need to be carrying 4 liters of water, at least. But like, how have you prepared? I mean, normally you run as light as possible with as little gear as possible, but this is essentially big blocks where you're going to be running through desert territory with little to no support. I mean, like, have you done extra weight training? Have you been practicing with heavier packs? Like, just tell us a bit about that prep.
Yes, so I think like a really hard part of the race is the first day, and possibly I think it's about first 7 hours where you actually there's very limited water and no crude aid station. So yeah, so I think it's 50 odd Ks. I think they say roughly it takes about 7.5 hours for the front guys to complete that. So you got to run with 4 liters of water. So yeah, I worked with Salomon to make a prototype backpack that can carry a bladder, got soft flask in the front, and then I'll also be using handheld bottles to carry the water. So yeah, I've done some training with that. I was out at a Salomon training camp now. I tested that all out, and so yeah, confident with that. Yeah, I mean, obviously the pack is heavier with all the water, but there's actually not a lot of mandatory gear for the race, or for that first section. You actually don't have to carry the kind of cold weather mandatory gear. You only do that later, or like later stages in the race. So it kind of balances out. So, I mean, the pack's not overly heavy. I mean, a race like UTMB or the UTMB races, you actually have to carry a ton of mandatory gear, which probably weighs the same as carrying 4 liters of water.
And then the other thing I was really interested by is the navigation on a race like this, because obviously you've got the course profile. I'm assuming you load it to your Garmin and then, you know, you run like that, or I'm not sure, sorry, I'm not sure which device you're running with. But is
Yes,
it a
Garmin? It's fine.
Okay, cool, thanks. But you know, I know Garmin's come up with the solar watches that recharge as you run and stuff, but like, how is the navigation done on a course like this?
Yeah, so the course is marked, but it is mandatory to have a kind of GPS device. So I'll run with the course on my Garmin, and I'll use the Enduro device just because of the battery life. And yeah, from a navigation point of view, I mean, yeah, as I said, I've been running for 18 years now, running professionally, and I mean it's insane how the just technology has progressed. So it's pretty straightforward to navigate off my watch. I also mentioned that, I haven't mentioned, we allowed paces at, I think it's after around about 80, 90 kilometers. So
Okay.
for the night stretches, especially when you start getting really tired, I'll have a pacer, and then they can also help with navigation. Just because I mean you get so tired, and
It was going to be my next question, is like you get to that point of just being exhausted. Like, I mean, how do you even concentrate on which direction you're going? Okay, that's really amazing. So who will be pacing you?
yeah. So Reno Crystal,
Okay.
who I've done a number of
Yes.
adventures with, and good friend of mine. He's coming across with me to the US. He'll be kind of in charge of the crew, but then he'll also pace me for certain sections, especially those kind of early morning stretches from like kind of 2 to 6 a.m. where I get the most tired. Yeah, he'll pace me for those sections. Also just because he knows me really well, that I feel he can push me, but not push me too hard, that kind of
Yeah.
push me over the edge. So he'll be there, and then also some of my Salomon teammates, Lucy Bartholomew from Australia, Christian Meyer from Canada will be out there pacing me as well and helping crew. And then also Salomon, Courtney Dealwalt is running, and Salomon have also got a couple of people coming out. So yeah, we'll have quite a good crew out there.
I mean, that's an interesting thing for me, is how much does it take to organize for a race like this? I mean, one part is getting fit enough, getting strong enough, getting into the race healthy, but how much background support do you guys actually need for a race like this? Like, what goes on behind the scenes?
Yeah, I mean, the kind of easiest answer is, I mean, I think people from the outside see running as an individual sport, but I mean, it's been a massive team effort in terms of, I mean, obviously I've been doing all the training, but yeah, having Reno, I mean, he's put together spreadsheets of timings and profile, and kind of when you need your cold weather mandatory gear, when you don't. I mean, the spreadsheet's pretty complicated. So I mean, there's a lot of planning that's gone into it. And I mentioned the Salomon team are coming out. We've got a kind of high performance person now in the Salomon Global Running team. So he's coming out to do testing, and yeah, he's kind of been very involved with my training and preparation. My coach Jason Coop, who I'm actually really lucky, he's run the race before, so it's been great to get some kind of practical input. And then again, as I mentioned, through Salomon, made a number of prototypes when it comes to backpacks, to specific gear, to shoes. Just I guess the large part of a race like Cocodona is kind of managing yourself and looking after yourself. So as I mentioned, the first kind of 7-8 hours when water is limited, to kind of make sure you're as comfortable as possible, you look after yourself, you drink enough, because they say it's mandatory to have 4 liters of water, but my coach Jason Coop said for like the mid-pack guys, they probably need closer to 6 liters. So really, I guess a big thing for a race like Cocodona is just looking after yourself, again, when it comes to shoes and footwear, having the right shoes, staying comfortable, and just taking care of yourself. So I mean, it's been cool to work closely with Salomon, and just kind of try and really get the perfect gear for the race.
Well, that leads me on to my next one, is you can be the best ultra runner in the world, but you're not immune to having blisters, you're not immune to having chafes. There's only so much the human body can take, and pushing yourself for a 400k race, I'm sure there's a lot that happens. What are your tips, I would guess, to other runners that are taking on trail running to try and minimize? I mean, what have you learned over the years to make sure that, you know, your feet aren't full of blisters, you haven't got chafing everywhere, or is it something that you just work through? I'm just interested to know, really. Yeah.
No, I mean, I think it's so important to get to know your gear and not be, I mean, especially in like a race environment. And I mean, I've made the mistake a number of times. You suddenly climbing up to the top of a big mountain and you're starting to get cold, but you like to put a rain jacket on now, or a warm jacket or a warm top is gonna waste time. And then before you know it, you're suddenly so cold, you're borderline hypothermic. And I mean, for me, I did that during the Madeira Ultra Trail a few years back, and I mean that kind of cost me severely in the race. So I mean, it's just getting to know your gear, and also in training. I mean, figure out when you're running with a pack on, can you put your jacket over your pack? And when you're buying a jacket, consider like, actually maybe it's best to buy it slightly bigger, or kind of with a more adjustable back that can stretch a bit more if you want to put it over your pack. Again, just the small things. I mean, if you feel that you chafing and it's during a race, kind of stop and sort it out. Or if you notice you chafe a lot in training, kind of work on that. Again, shoes, just, I mean, I guess there's also, which has been quite interesting for me, say with a race like Cocodona, there's like certain shoes you'll put on that feel way lighter and a lot better for kind of a 5 or a 10k run. But if you're running 50ks, 80ks, or kind of 400ks, you might need a shoe that's like more comfortable, or works better. So just, I guess in a nutshell, really getting to know your gear. And I think also a big thing now is definitely fueling right. Kind of getting in enough calories, but also I think a big thing, which is probably very relevant to South Africa, is just getting in the right balance of electrolytes and water. I mean, I've been working on that for the last year, and that's been really big for me. I actually did a sweat test and realized I sweat a lot more than, I mean, when I say sweat, my kind of concentration of sodium in my sweat is a lot higher than what I thought. So if you get that messed up, then your gut can't absorb food, and kind of everything goes pear-shaped. So I think like figuring stuff out like that is really important. I think, just again, without waffling on for too long, just really trying to kind of manage the controllables. And there's so many controllables that you can work on and manage, and can really just help you. And I mean, with any long run, there's so many kind of things that are beyond your control. So the few things you can control, just try and work on those.
Well, I mean, it is interesting because they say never try anything new on race day, but I think people don't realize that. I've been to so many talks recently where it's like, if you're going to drink, like a stupid thing, if you're going to drink Coke on a race, make sure you drink Coke in your training. And you would think, but it's just Coke. But your body's not used to that sugar. And interesting, like with the sweat test, I mean, that's how scientific you guys are going with this. You even measured like what's coming out, so you know exactly what to put in.
Yes, that's, I mean, the sport has got super professional the last, I mean, 2 years. I mean, this year or end of last year, we've had like there's a person who's in charge of the high performance program. So I mean, he came from the Ineos cycling team. Like a ton of tests, even at Cocodona. I think I'll be doing that double water test. He can probably explain it better than I can, but it's basically we are kind of working out your energy expenditure for the whole race. So I mean, it's kind of really interesting knowledge. But even with Aitor, the guys heads up the high performance program, we did like a lot of gut testing beforehand, and there's actually a little device you breathe into that you can see if you actually kind of able, if your body's or your gut is absorbing everything you kind of putting down during a long run. So yeah, it's gotten super
It's
like I think a lot
fascinating.
more. Yeah, I mean a lot more testing, etc. So yeah, I mean I think that's what really cool and exciting about the sport, but at the same time also kind of not losing that adventure and kind of free natured spirit too.
Yeah, well, that's actually my next question. Nino Schurter actually made the point once, was that the technology and the stats and everything you get is amazing, but there also has to come up to a point, and you'll know this having been in the sport for as long as you have been, that you really just need to rely on natural feeling, because you know how far you can push. You know, like it doesn't matter what the stats tell you. There comes a point where it's just got to be about what you feeling and how much you can go. Like, how have you balanced that out with your experience and the overflow of information coming in?
Yeah, I think like you got to have a strong filter and like realize I mean kind of know two things work for this. I mean, yeah, things don't, like what works for me is not necessarily going to work for you. So as you mentioned, I still like run according to perceived effort. I don't use a heart rate monitor. I mean, a lot of people do use the heart rate monitor during a race and will run to a specific heart rate. I've kind of have found with all my experience and knowledge from the years, I kind of generally know when I'm running in kind of the different zones. So yeah, I mean, I think I've tried to stick to kind of what I know, but also be kind of open-minded to also, I mean, take on some of the new stuff that I think will be really helpful and beneficial. I mean, I think like if you look at from the like elite side of kind of trail running, I guess cycling or any endurance sport at the moment, there's a big move towards getting in a high amount of carbs. So that's something I've really focused on and kind of used kind of as much science as possible to work on that. Okay.
So you mentioned obviously you go a lot to feel, and it's a lot more about how you know your body will react. But you know, with all the advancements, has this changed anything, like your fueling and that sort of thing? Like, has it made a difference?
Yeah, so going into the race, like I've done a lot of gut training and tried to just train my gut to absorb more carbs. Obviously, for like a shorter race, it works really well. For a race like Cocodona, which will be 60 hours plus, I don't know if like I'll be able to kind of get in 100 plus grams of carbs an hour, but I'll probably aim for about 90. Yeah, maybe 100 if things go well. So yeah, I've done like quite a lot of training, but also at the same time, I know that I'll need to get in some solid food. So the aid stations at Cocodona are really well stocked, but then also with my crew, stuff that works well for me is just trying to like mix up sweet and savory. So a lot of my kind of nutrition while I'm running is sweet. So taking in like soup works really well just to get something salty and savory. Getting in, also taking kind of eating rice, smash, even like a sandwich. So really just mixing up the kind of savory and sweet, and then also getting in some protein during the race is important. And then also, as I mentioned, obviously probably something that I'm kind of been working on a lot, or something that is most daunting would be the sleep deprivation. So those kind of early hours of the morning from like 2 to 6 o'clock. So really getting in high caffeine during those periods. So taking in the kind of gels with caffeine and Red Bull, etc., is going to be really important.
So Red Bull at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, a couple.
And not having your heart go, whoa. I couldn't do it, but like, no, I'm interested. But everything, what is your why in these things? I mean, it's not, and one of the stories that strikes me so is Paris with the Barkley Marathon, the first woman to finish. I mean, it's very similar in your space. What is the why? Because the race is one part, but the preparation, you're a family guy, you know, you've got commitments. How do you balance that out in your life to get yourself to where you are?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the why throughout my career has changed, but I do agree. I mean, I think going into a race like this, you need to have a very strong why, and there's going to be a number of times kind of when things go wrong, or you don't know if you can keep going, and yeah, like mentally you have to have that why. I mean, I always say it's a person who can manage the low moments the best during an ultra race, or I guess life in general, that ends up being the most successful. So having a strong why is super important, and just I guess also just being excited about kind of what you're doing. I mean, I always say when it comes to being a professional trail runner, I've always said the day I wake up and I'm not excited and motivated is the day I stop. And I mean, as I said earlier in our chat, I mean, it's really cool that I'm still so excited and motivated, and I see this as a complete new challenge. So yeah, I mean, having that why is really important. But I guess they are managing everything. I think a race like Cocodona and like I've really enjoyed the build up because I've been able to train at home in South Africa, so I haven't had to spend long periods away from my family. And also, I mean, yeah, we've had a really hot summer in Cape Town, so it's been perfect training. And there's areas like the Cedarburg, or even did some training out in Grabouw. So like the training here has actually been perfect, which has been really cool. That haven't had to be away from family for that long, and it's been a lot easier to balance everything.
Well, you've had probably the hottest. You've had like every weather down in Cape Town. It's actually been a bit nuts. And heat waves like now. I was a bit like, wow. But okay, cool. And then, I mean, is this like the the last big for you, or are there still bigger things? I mean, I'd love to
Yeah.
see a runner of your caliber take on something like the Barkley, just
Yeah.
because I think it's crazy. But like, I mean, is that something you'd ever do?
I mean, I guess never say never. Generally, when it comes to navigation, I make sure Raino's with me. Otherwise, I'll probably go around and around in circles. But no, I mean, there have been times where the Barclays intrigue me. Currently, I guess like not that much. I guess I suppose if like the Barkley was like a lot. I mean, I just find it's like very far to travel all the way to the US for a race. They did a lot of preparation. I mean, I've spoken at length with people who've done it. I know Gary Robbins really well, and Courtney. I think it also can be quite weather dependent. So I mean,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, if it was at home and it was a quick 2-hour flight, then I could give it a bash. Cool. But like to go all the way to the US and yeah, maybe to not get great conditions. Yeah, kind of doesn't make it as appealing for me. And also, yeah, I feel, I mean, it is a proper sufferfest. Yeah, I guess most ultra runs end up becoming a sufferfest, but at least it's like relatively beautiful and kind of nice conditions where kind of the Barkley doesn't look that great. But I mean, never say
never.
I mean, if you'd asked me 6 years ago, like, would you do a 400k like non-stop race? I'd probably say no. And kind of here I am a few weeks out, about to take on the Cocodona 250. So yeah, yeah, again, never say never. But yeah, I think, I mean, I'm really excited for Cocodona, and yeah, we'll see how things go. I do see it as a little bit of a new chapter, and definitely, yeah, I'd like to potentially do one or two other 200 milers. But having said that, like, yeah, I think I'll first get through Cocodona and see. But yeah, there's also one or two kind of free running projects I'd still like to do. And as I mentioned, yeah, I'm feeling like really excited and motivated by the sport at the moment, like personally kind of taking on a complete new challenge, but also just seeing how the sport has progressed. So yeah, I'm kind of not done yet.
And what is your goal for Cocodona, if I can ask? Like, are you
Yeah.
aiming for a podium? Are you aiming to be with the front guys? What is your goal?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'd like to be competitive, and I mean, it would be a dream to be on the top step of the podium. But having said all that, I mean, I think for me, the important thing is just to kind of come out of it with an epic experience, and really just run the best race I can run. So, and I mean, just see where that lands me. I definitely don't want to get kind of too far ahead of myself. I mean, I always say I got a very healthy respect for 100 milers, and now this is 250 miles. So I mean, anything can happen, and I think that's what's so exciting about it.
And my last question to you is, what is your message to those that are just starting their journey? You know, trail holds a special place in your heart, but with all the experience, with all the races you've done, what is your ultimate message to the trail running community, that all those trail runners just starting out? What's your message to them?
Yeah, I mean, I think my big thing is just to get out there and not be scared to dream big. I mean, I think we're capable of so much. I mean, 20 years ago, if you asked me would I be sitting kind of here, I would have laughed at you. So I mean, yeah, we're all capable of way more than what we think. And I think a big thing with trail running is just to get out there and enjoy yourself. I mean, often speak to people who have come from like a road running background. They're like, oh, like the trails, I end up walking all this stuff, I'm so slow. And I mean, I think a lot of us, like, trail running is completely different. So don't look at your watch the whole time and try run according to time. Just really enjoy yourself out there, walk when you need to. The terrain is technical. You have to slow down. I always say practice makes perfect. So the more you get out on technical terrain, the more you learn, the more you kind of descend steep stuff, the better you get. So yeah, my big thing is just to kind of get out there, have fun, join a running club or a community. I mean, there's so many amazing trail running communities out there, and really just enjoy the experience.
Awesome. Well, there you have it. Ryan, we wish you all the best for Cocodona. I think you're going to do amazing things. And thank you for taking the time out of what I know is a busy schedule to chat with us. Well, just for everyone, we'll be including live links, and you can follow and track you through the race. I think it's going to be amazing.
Thanks so much. Yeah, really cool to chat, and thanks for all your support.
Awesome. Thank you.